Hey everybody, it's Dr. Sam, and I want to welcome you to another Eye Clarity podcast. We are mobile today, and I am in downtown Santa Fe. It's a Saturday morning, beautiful, clear day. Usually this time of year we're packed with tourists, but because of the COVID situation, of course, it's pretty quiet down here right now. So I'm on the east side of Santa Fe, and actually my office used to be pretty close by, and sometimes I miss that. I miss being downtown and have a lot of friends down here. But anyways, I'm on a walk, and I thought I'd bring you along. We've got a couple of questions that I thought I'd answer as we take a little walk today. Couple of announcements. I'm going to be offering another class, vision class, that's going to be Saturday, September 12th, 10 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. It's Mountain Time, and we've done this before, and very successful. People have loved it. So if you want to sign up, you can go to my website, drsambyrne.com. You can also sign up through Eventbrite and also on my Facebook page. So I've got three really good questions here, and so I thought I would just while we're taking a walk, just see what comes through. So the first question is from a concerned parent. This gentleman has a 1-year-old daughter, and he's noticing that when she plays and has fun, one of her eyes is crossing, and it's intermittent, so it doesn't happen all the time, but he's concerned about it, and he looked it up on the internet, and he found that she may have this condition called accommodative esotropia. So, with kids, what happens is when they start to learn how to use their eyes, there's definitely a learning curve. And I kind of make the metaphor of the software and the hardware. And the hardware, of course, are the eyes, and the software is the brain. And it's really the brain that directs the eyes. And it's a learned and developed skill. So visual coordination is a learned and developed skill. So it's very normal for young children to swim with their eyes, where sometimes they look straight, they may look turned. And what's going on is that, when we see an eye turn, we either can get double vision, which can be disconcerting, or the brain is shutting off one of the eyes to avoid double vision. And in any event, because it's an intermittent situation, one of the best things that I have found is to start engaging the child's body awareness. And, if you think about in our development, we go through creeping, crawling, and we do that bilateral movement, the right side with the left side, that dance, or the front of the body and the back of the body, or the upper body and the lower body. And it's important that we learn that reciprocal interweaving relationship. And if we have this type of eye wandering, what that's saying is that this girl is really trying to figure out this integration. And so what we do is we recommend a lot of obstacle course motoring and incorporating the bilateral movement, and at this point it may be nothing more than working with the crawling and getting the crawling in a bilateral state, right side, left side. And another thing that I've observed over the years is the issue with crossed eyes especially is that the awareness is only on the front part of the body, and there's no awareness of the spine or the back part of the body. So that's why a lot of the obstacle courses we do, the motoring is done backwards, and of course it's always done in a obstacle course situation. And in that obstacle course situation, basically what we're doing is we're trying to engage the eyes, the brain, and the body to work together. Another thing that works really well is getting some really, you know, really deep craniosacral therapy. I find that craniosacral therapy is one of the best solutions for this eye coordination issue. And I've helped so many people, especially kids, who have had strabismus and doing osteopathic biodynamic craniosacral therapy. It's been really helpful in getting more movement and fluidity in the face, the head, the eyes, the spine, the sacrum, and so on. Some other things that I like to do is engage the peripheral vision. So this is one of the best ways to neutralize crossed eyes, because when one of the eyes turns in, it really disrupts our midline, and we lose our side vision, our peripheral vision. And so doing things where we're stimulating the part of the visual system that's more peripheral, this is our ambient vision, can be very helpful at waking up that particular part of the vision. Remember, especially in kids, I mean, all of us have this plasticity that we're born with, and if we start introducing new experiences, the plasticity takes hold. Now, some things I wouldn't do is, if you go to regular eye care, one of the things they promote is strong glasses. You remember at any eye exam where they put drops in the eyes, they're paralyzing the focusing muscles, and so then they're going to give you the maximum prescription, and you get this magnification lens, and it's super distorting. It also stunts the visual development, and it's probably one of the worst things that you can do. Sometimes you can use a homeopathic lens part-time, but for a 1-year-old, too soon. I mean, I think that getting them out into the big space, like doing artwork in the big canvas, that's really where you want to go right now. Another thing you want to avoid is eye muscle surgery, because it just doesn't work. It's very traumatic. It's more confusing for the brain, and with that, it's just going to be more problems if you do eye muscle surgery, especially because it's an intermittent situation. So there's definitely a lot that can be done. Just doing some stimulating movement activities where you're engaging the peripheral vision and the bilaterality can work really, really well. And so keep in touch, and thank you so much for the question. All right, let's take question 2. This is a gentleman who's been diagnosed with a condition called lattice degeneration. So this is a retina question. And when you look into the back of the eye, you actually see these crisscrossed lines that are on the surface of the retina. This is a stretching of the retina that is due mostly because of high myopia. And it happens in the peripheral part of the retina, so there's no problem with the macula. That's our detail vision that we've talked about. But the key with lattice degeneration is that you want to make sure there are no retinal holes or retinal detachments. It definitely can be disconcerting, and it usually goes hand in hand with the diagnosis of myopia, nearsightedness. Sometimes the surgeon will do something called cryotherapy. It's a very cold laser. Of course, it's a symptom approach, and it's not really dealing with the systemic or the deeper causes. So I want to give this gentleman some suggestions. First of all, I think the nutrients of lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin, I talk about these carotenoids all the time, and these are really important for any retina health. And these carotenoids are, we find them in all the rainbow colored foods. You may even need to take a supplement. That might be the way to go. Obviously, the fatty acids, the omega-3s, are also really important. Vitamin A is important. So, you want to eat an anti-inflammatory diet. You want to make sure you're getting enough probiotics. All those things that we talk about in terms of healthy diet, healthy food, even things like making sure you're getting like ginger root and turmeric root into your diet. All of these things reduce inflammation, because when you start developing any kind of retinal disease, you open yourself up to things like inflammation, oxidative stress, and this leads to metabolic waste accumulating in the retina. Of course, we know the retina is made up of those tiny blood vessels called the microcapillaries. The mitochondria live in there, and if we can boost our mitochondria function, we have a great chance of, discharging that oxidative stress. Speaking of stress, usually these are folks that have moderate to high amounts of myopia, so wearing some kind of a reduced prescription, especially for your screen time, making sure you're getting the blue blockers, that's very important. And then the physical eye therapy exercises. I love the plus lens to blur. That's the opposite prescription for nearsighted people. And the palm hum is also a great one, the eye dialogue. Anything that you can do to discharge the stress that is accumulated in the eye tissue. And, the retina is going to be a weak area, especially if you have high myopia, and there's even a genetic predisposition to developing lattice degeneration. But there are things that you can do to neutralize this, and that's the good news. You need to be proactive, and if you do so, I think you have a good chance to neutralize the deterioration. All right, last question. This is actually from my retreat, which I did 2 weeks ago, a Vision Sanctuary. By the way, commercial plug, I'm going to be doing it again in November 12th. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to my website. But this question is about the herb mugwort. Mugwort. And this is an ancient old remedy. Acupuncturists use this, and I'm going to tell you how I use it. But it's a plant medicine that has some really great properties. First of all, it can help improve digestion. It helps with menstruation. So if your cycles are off, it can be helpful in moving energy. That's basically what mugwort does. It helps improve the chi, the energy in your body. It has been shown to help with insomnia, some types of headaches. And the way I use it, and the way I taught it in my class, is I have people make a tea, and they just keep it in the refrigerator for a couple days, and they use a compress over the eye, so it's a cool compress, and it's very helpful in the scheme of things if you've got things like eye strain, dry eyes, styes, chalazions, meibomian gland dysfunction, any kind of inflammation in the eyelids. It seems to be able to move the energy out of it, and that's really, really, really helpful. So you can do that compress once or twice a day. I like to do the MSM drops first, and then I do the mugwort after that, so that works really well. And generally speaking, it's just a very soothing tea, just really, really good. So thank you so much for the question. I really appreciate it. Well, everybody, I think I'm going to call it a day. I want to thank you for joining me on this very gentle walk Not a lot of traffic, not a lot of people out here, but it's a beautiful day, and I hope that you're having a beautiful day where you are. I want to thank you for tuning in, and until next time, take care.